Android has just released a massive update that addresses a staggering 120 security vulnerabilities, marking the largest patch release of the year for the platform. But here's where it gets controversial. 2 of these vulnerabilities were already being actively exploited by attackers before the fixes were made available. This early action from Android, ahead of the usual Patch Tuesday schedule next week, highlights just how quickly the threat landscape can change and why staying up to date with security patches is absolutely critical. To put this into perspective, back in July, Android did not release a single patch, suggesting a relatively calm period in terms of security issues. However, this September brought a sudden influx of fixes, including patches for 2 particularly serious bugs believed to be under limited, targeted exploitation. In case you're wondering, these threats have real-world implications. Both vulnerabilities allow attackers to elevate their privileges on the device without any need for user interaction, meaning no clicks, no prompts, nothing to trick the user. The first major issue, known as CVE 2025-3852, lies deep in the Linux kernel, the core part of Android's operating system, responsible for managing hardware and system resources. The second, CVE 2025-485. We reached out to Citizen Lab at the University of Toronto, a respected group known for tracking cyber espionage, but they reported no known exploitation activities linked to these flaws on their radar. On the contrary, the Hong Kong Computer Emergency Response Team, HKCERT, issued a public warning, echoing Google's concerns and confirming the signs of limited targeted attacks. HKCERT explicitly stated that these vulnerabilities are being scattered, exploited, underscoring the ongoing risks. This update doesn't just stop at Android's core components. It also includes 3 critical security patches for Qualcomm's closed-source modules, which power many Android devices. These chips are fundamental to the phone's communication and navigation functions, so vulnerabilities here can be extremely severe. In response to increasing scrutiny, Qualcomm has recently committed to improving its security support. Earlier this year, it doubled the duration of software updates for its chipsets from 4 to up to 8 years, likely influenced by Google's own policy guaranteeing 7 years of updates for its Pixel 8 and newer devices. This move is important as it helps protect users over a longer lifespan of their phones. But it also raises a question. Is this support consistent across all device manufacturers? Adding to this security focus, Imagination Technologies, another key player providing graphics processing units, Power VR GPUs, found in many devices, has issued fixes for 10 high-severity vulnerabilities. These patches, while less talked about, are crucial for maintaining the stability and security of many Android-powered devices. Most of the other Android flaws covered by this update are considered high severity, but there is a particularly worrying critical remote code execution vulnerability in the system component, CVE 2025-48539. This means attackers might be able to run malicious code remotely, which elevates the urgency for users to install these updates promptly. But here's the catch. While Google Pixel phone owners will benefit from timely updates, they represent only a small fraction, roughly 4%, of the US smartphone market. The majority of Android users rely on manufacturers like Samsung and Motorola, who traditionally control the pace at which patches are rolled out on their devices. This leaves countless phones potentially exposed for weeks or even months after vulnerabilities are made public. We've reached out to Samsung and Motorola to find out when users can expect these critical fixes on their devices, and will share updates as soon as we receive a response. This ongoing delay in patch distribution raises an important debate. Should manufacturers be pressured more heavily to speed up updates? Or is the fragmented nature of the Android ecosystem an unavoidable downside to its diversity? What do you think? Are these delays in patching a fair trade-off for customization and variety in Android devices? or do they represent a serious, preventable security risk that manufacturers need to address immediately? Share your thoughts and experiences below. This is a conversation that affects millions of users worldwide.